Shalom, shalom. So this is back to Michael Dutton. Um, the highest form of love that I can offer is to show you and your wife and everybody out there their hearts. And that's exactly what I did at my house. It's all on videotape. It's all recorded. This is what I do because this is what love is. This is what the fire is that I can share with you his truth and show you your garment now. What is in the back of your dress that you don't see, because I'm looking for a pure bride. I'm looking for the pure bride. And I'm here literally with a measuring stick, and you guys don't know that. No, I've told you, but you don't believe that. Because who can you be, right? All I know is he lives in me. And I agree. I've thought all the same things you think about me. I've thought the same things myself. Don't you know I'm a person just like you are? But one thing I know for truth, is that he lives in me, and I give him my being to be who he called me to be because I love him. This is laying your life down for him. Most of you aren't willing to lay your reputation down. That's what I've been testing this whole time, don't you know? If you're willing to go away from your land into a place of unknowing and just trusting and going, but if I leave this house that is comfortable and feels safe, but this is where God is leading me to, is out to the desert of listen and do and trusting in him. This is all what I'm supposed to teach people to do. That everybody should be the gifts that they were created to be and not try to be on the top of the mountain, but lift up the ones that should be lifted up and place down the ones that should be placed down. And that's what I'm here for. I know who I am and what I do. That's why he brings me to all of his religious leaders. How is that possible? How is that possible without his doing? I'm just a disabled man, spends most of his time here. This is my kingdom. It's pain and suffering. Pain and suffering. And he keeps telling me, my body hurts. My body hurts because they don't connect right. So he is going to bring fire down to cleanse everything and to burn up all that is unholy in all of us. And this is how the bride readies herself. It's iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. And so, this started out from Michael Dutton. Your wife, I exposed her heart. She was going by just what she wrote. But I knew what she was thinking. I can see. And I exposed it. And I have all recordings of it. But I exposed exactly what she felt inside. And then she said she was equal to me. And so then I said, then let's see. And I started speaking in tongues. And I said, I will be taken. This is, when I do these things, it's not me. It's him in me. And so he said, I'll be taking your crown now. And I'll be holding it hostage. See, that's what it is. It's just taking your covering. Why does it say? Why does it say? Be careful lest any man take your crown. Why would it say something like that? No, read your word. I know him by spirit. He tells me exactly what to say. And that's what I say and do. It's even been prophesied many times. These things are not me. They're him. So, let the judgments come. This is what I've been doing. I've been testing everybody's hearts just by saying and doing what he tells me to. And most people can't handle the fact that I would yell at them because they think, but the biggest form of love for me is, out of love, is fire if it gets too much. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I am. I'm fire. Who can withstand me? And only the most humble hearts, because everybody's so full of pride. So that's what this is all about, is everybody's pride. Your wife said she was my equal, and she's not. So I had to let her know and take her crown. Yes, until whatever he does, if he leads her to repentance or not, I don't know. But these things are fire that we're playing with. And people don't understand, and they're stuck in the world and the Babylonian system. And they're boxes of traditions of men. And this is what I'm here to expose, is the truth in all religions, in all kingdoms. So you want to go up against fire, go ahead, but you're going to be burned. This is what this is. Daniel, you're holding a sin hostage that I said about, that I admitted. Hallelujah. It was a thought, but it wasn't entertained. And I said, and that's what you're going to hold. But you have nothing against me. You have nothing. I've already gone to court. So these are crowns that I realize I have been here to test people's hearts. Things that I say is to test their hearts and expose them. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like the man said, he goes, every man, this is a Russian prophetic, a prophet, old Tzaddik. And he says, everything that man is saying, and even his body movements, are not him anymore. He says, it's Yah. It's God. And I can say, I've given myself to him more and more every day. And the truth is, he rules through me. I speak things into the heavenly realms, which is the fire. And this is the way I can bless and curse. And it's him in me that rises up, that you think is evil. And he says, of course they're going to hate you. Of course they're going to hate you and say all kinds of bad things to you. Because they first hated me. Of course they're going to hate you. So this is the battle. We are within the fire. And who is in the hottest part of the fire is the one that is, well, that gets to rule, actually. Gets to be king. So I'm dealing with kings and angels and all kinds of things, powers and principalities here. All here to play a role. To see who can withstand the fire. To be within the 144,000. That was a prophecy from another prophet there in Jerusalem. That I was the plumb line for the temple. And that's what that sacrifice on the Mount of Olives was about. It was about calling something here in this world that was going to happen, something in the spirit, and it was going to bring him down. That's why he told me to take my feet off, because the one that lives in me wanted to touch the ground there. Hallelujah. 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 Because he wanted to be able to ground there and step on that land. That's why. You guys have no idea who you're judging as evil. You have no idea who you're judging as evil. And sure, the world's going to always try to get you to be afraid of everything. You're afraid to go out of the wilderness. You're afraid to leave. But you have to leave Babylon. You have to leave Egypt in order to go to the promised land, which you go into that place in the wilderness of trust, where you trust that you just eat his bread every day. You have to trust in him. He's going to take care of your things. That he's going to take care of, like a good Abba, like a good husband too. That he is going to take care of you and feed you. And right now we've got debt collectors calling me every day. And he says, just trust me. You're due your Shemitah and your Jubilee. And you're due your land. That's what he gave me through my son today. He says, you're due your land. And so that's what this is about. We are missing stones. All those who understand me are missing stones to the temple that are the living temple of Yah in Jerusalem. See, that's a fire that only the people in Jerusalem understand. Only the Levites and the Cohen, you know what I'm saying? It's the inner circle of the fire. And so that's what this is. And now he's going to use the world. Hallelujah. I see how this fire ignites and we bless each other. That's what this is about. I'm here to light your fire because that's what love is. And I have to expose what's in people's garments and the pride that's there, the leaven that's there. Because if not, they'll be burned. So my best way of love is looking like a crazy man, screaming in anger, because that's when the heart screams out, you don't understand. If you don't do these things, if we don't do these things, the Father is going to burn you. Like in the book of Thomas, where it says, if I told you who I was, this is what he told me. He would cast stones at me, and those stones would turn right back and burn you up. Because exactly what you were praying for was a praying against the Father's will, which was the witchcraft that you were calling I was doing. You see how this stuff works? Witchcraft is disobedience. I follow the voice. I follow Yah's voice. And he tells me what to do and puts me in front of all of his leaders in the world so I can test their hearts, so I can test their auras, just so I can bring judgment, righteous judgment, he says. Why? What right do I have to do that? Just the fact that I was a fool enough to give myself to him, to do the things that would make you look crazy to the world, so that you would leave the world and leave Babylon and come into the truth. I spent most of my life in bed, and it's like it made me into some sort of superhero in other realms. See, that's the truth of how it works. It's those people that are sick and castaway stones of the world are the ones that are rising up now to bring judgment to the world for being misjudged and all kinds of things. But the truth is, his fire's here, and he wants to be made known. May his name be known. May you all be sons of the King. May we all know him as the King in us. May we all know him. Because when we do, then he gets to reign on earth. But we must know what place of the living stones, what place in the temple we belong. Because if we're not in our rightful places, then the temple isn't right. It doesn't sing to him. See, the whole thing must sing to him. It's a symphony. Each one a special chord. Each one a frequency. Yes, a vibration of his kingdom. This is what this is about. And I have to somehow put everybody in their right place so it sings to him and praises him as a beautiful bride, so the marriage can begin. And all because of lies that we've been taught. We are stuck in the old ways of the lies we've been taught. So now those who have made themselves judges, especially against judges, are brought to judgment because they're brought up to high court. When you go against his judges, then you go to high court. And that's how these things work. It's his kingdom. So we do these things spiritually. And he's giving people abilities. You're all superheroes of his. Don't you know who you are? It's by your difficulties and your cursings in your life, it made you who you're becoming. All made in his image. so that you could become one with him. And my biggest form of love is to expose the deception, expose the spots in your dress because you're not ready to be the bride. And you cursed me for it. But look what it did. I got Peter to give people channels. what he was supposed to do. I have been running a lot of different organizations, so to speak, so going away from the bottom in one way or another. I plant seeds all over the place, and I just watch them come into fruition. And I sit back and I go, oh my goodness. And what you prayed for in those tongues, what you were feeling, because all I could do is feel what he's saying through me, because he's literally using my mouth. It's like a whole cloud of witnesses, and they all work together, and they use me to be your mouthpiece, and they're all living in me. I'm having right now as I'm speaking, I'm feeling energy surges, and I'm constantly moving in bed. It's either pain or it's ecstatic. It goes from one extreme to the other. It's like getting close to his fire, getting close, and then getting burnt, and then. It's getting close, it's getting close, it's getting close, and then burnt. So all I can do is be who he called me to be, because that's my biggest form of love. And my biggest form of love is to show people their garments, because there is no greater love. If you want to be a sister bride in his kingdom, then the sister must love each other enough to share what's in the back of her garment, so that she's not shamed when she sees her king. And for the arrogance of the sister to think, how dare you look in my garment? I look beautiful. And you're like, but no, that smells to him. He doesn't like that. And then they judge. And my biggest form was to tell them, because he told me I was his tailor for the garment as well. All I know is what he tells me. See, this is by the power of your testimony. This is the faith. And he's told me I'm here to expose people in the wedding tailor, what needs to be cut off and what needs to be exposed, and but also the stick. And it scares me, the things he says to me. It's scary. Anyway, it's his fire. See, I'm just a little bit of fire so that when he comes, you don't get burned. I couldn't help. I yelled at my mom and said, please don't try ever to lie to me. That's the only thing. Just don't lie to me when you come home. Because that's a big thing for me. It was manipulation, being lied to be manipulated. I can't handle that in the world. I can't handle it in my mother. I can't handle it in anybody or anything anymore. It's literally it's a spirit of Jezebel that is in the churches, and it's in everything and everybody. It's wanting to control your outcome, and other people wanting to control your outcome, when all we can do is go by him and know him by spirit and see his vision of what he seeks, the Father's will. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. And I get to feel his pain. That's what my body right now is just, it's like going through all kinds of things. I mean, I'm just feeling, sometimes it's pain, sometimes it feels good as the contraction of muscles contract, and then it almost feels like it's good because I think there's nerve pain in there that maybe I'm afraid, I don't know how to explain it, but it's energy. And I get to feel his pain. And his shoulders will be known as rejected silver. These leaders who call themselves leaders, many will be going down and cut off the shoulders, which are the priests of the temple, or the shoulders of the temple. And I feel so much pain in my shoulders from the disease, the connective tissue, genetic disease, that I get to feel the pain of the world, the pain of the disconnection. It's all experience of who we are and who we're created to be. But we're all created in his image, different parts of his body. And until we come together the way he wants to, well, I get to feel the pain. But may his kingdom come and his will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. I don't want to go. I'm done fighting. I've asked for separation. I've asked Abba for separation from you all, because I'd like to go into a time of being closer to him, because I kept feeding and feeding and feeding oil, and it was just draining me. And I asked Father that I just be separated for a season until they're willing to see that I'm just doing your will, Abba. Anyway, I love you guys. My biggest form of love is to expose what's in your garment, because that is what love is. That's what light does. And I've asked forgiveness of everything I've ever done and thought of, and it's always made out to be so much more. That's why my son prophesied they're gonna go after you about the splinter in your eye when they have logs in their own. And I'm like, I told you just thoughts, or I told you this, and it was all. Anyway, Abba judges people's hearts. See, he knows what they're thinking and what's in their heart, not just what they type in or even say. Shalom, shalom.